You're 23 when you notice it first. Your buddy Mike buys a truck, brand new. Payments for 72 months. He shows it to you in the parking lot outside the bar, grinning, keys dangling off his finger like a trophy. You nod. You say it looks good. It does look good. You drive home in your 5-year-old Civic with the crack in the windshield you haven't fixed yet. $240 a month goes into an account you don't touch. Has for a year now. Nobody knows about it. Nobody asks. That's the first night you feel it. A small hum under your ribs. Not pride exactly. Something quieter than that. You're 24 when Sarah gets the apartment downtown. Exposed brick, 12-foot ceilings, $1,600 a month plus parking. She posts pictures. Everyone comments fire emojis. You're still in the 2-bedroom you split with your cousin. $700 a month, you're half. The carpet is ugly. The landlord won't fix the dishwasher. The window unit rattles all summer and you learn to sleep through it. You could afford Sarah's place. That's the part nobody would believe. Your check clears fine, but you do the math on a napkin at Denny's one Tuesday night, and the math doesn't care about brick walls or ceiling height. The math just sits there, cold, telling you the truth. You keep the ugly carpet. 25, your dad calls, asks how work's going. You tell him fine. He asks if you're doing anything fun, spending some of that money you're making. There's a tone in his voice, not judgment. Worry, maybe. Like he thinks you're missing something everyone else is getting. You don't tell him about the account. The one that's grown quietly month after month, boring as a Tuesday. You don't tell him about the automatic transfer that hits every payday before you even see the number. You don't tell him you set it up 2 years ago and forgot about it on purpose, because forgetting was the whole point. You just say, "You're doing fine, Dad. Working hard." He says that's good. Says don't forget to live a little. You hang up and sit in the quiet of your room and wonder if he's right. 26 is the year everyone starts pairing off. Weddings, bachelor parties in Vegas that run $800 a head. You go to 3 of them. You smile in every photo. You put the flight on a card you pay off in full every month. A habit so old now, it doesn't even feel like discipline anymore. At Danny's wedding, you stand at the open bar next to Kevin from high school. Kevin's doing sales now. Kevin's got a Rolex he bought as an investment. Kevin explains this to you for 11 minutes straight, unprompted, while the DJ plays a song you both used to like in 10th grade. You nod along. You don't say anything about your own numbers. There's nothing to say yet. It's still just an account, still just a habit, still just the boring machine running in the background of your life while everyone else builds something loud and visible. That's 26, the year it's invisible. 27, your cousin moves out, gets his own place with his girlfriend. You get the 2-bedroom to yourself now, and for one weekend, you think about upgrading. You look at listings, nicer building, gym in the basement, $900 more a month. You close the tab, not because you can't afford it, because you've started to understand something you can't quite say out loud yet. The apartment was never really about the apartment. It's about what happens to the number if you leave it alone long enough. And leaving it alone has become the only thing you're actually good at. You stay in the same place another 2 years. You start bringing lunch to work in a plastic container that used to hold deli potato salad. Nobody at the office notices. Why would they? 29 is when the market has one of its bad months. The news says things like correction and volatility, and everyone's uncle has an opinion about it at Thanksgiving. Your account drops 11% in 6 weeks. You watch the number get smaller on your phone in the parking lot of a Sheetz at 10 at night, engine running, heat on. You don't sell. You don't even think about selling, not really. Not the way people think you're supposed to when their money shrinks. You just watch the number, feel that same old hum under your ribs, quieter now, more familiar, and you drive home. 3 months later, it's back. 5 months after that, it's higher than it ever was. Nobody saw that dip except you. Nobody saw the recovery either. That's the strange thing about the whole 10 years. Almost none of it happens where anyone can see it. 31. Mike's truck is gone. Traded in on a newer one. Another 72 months. Another loan stacked where the last one used to be. He tells you about it over beers. Tells you the new one has heated seats. Tells you it was time for an upgrade. You ask how the old one held up. He says fine, just wanted something new. You don't say anything about your account. It's not a competition. And it never felt like one, not out loud. But there's a number in your head now, one you checked that morning before work, standing in your kitchen with coffee going cold. And the number is bigger than you expected it to be at this age. Bigger than Mike's truck. Bigger than Sarah's old apartment deposit. Bigger, probably, than what Kevin's Rolex would fetch at a pawn shop today. 32, you buy a house. Not because someone tells you it's time. Because the down payment has been sitting there for 3 years. Waiting, patient, boring, the exact same way it's always been. You walk through the place with the realtor and your hands aren't shaking. Not because you're rich, but because you did the math on this one too. The same way you did the math on the napkin at Denny's 9 years ago. The math still doesn't care about anything except whether the numbers work. This time they do. You sign the papers on a Thursday afternoon in October. Nobody throws a party. There's no picture with keys dangling off a finger, just a folder of documents and a pen that runs out of ink halfway through and a realtor who hands you a new one without missing a beat. You call your dad that night. Tell him you bought a house. He goes quiet for a second and then he asks, "How?" And there's something different in his voice this time. Not worry. Something closer to trying to understand a math problem he never learned how to solve. You tell him the truth. You tell him there was never a secret. You tell him about the $240 from 10 years ago, the ones that turned into $280, then $310, then automatic and invisible, the ones nobody at the bachelor parties ever asked about because there was nothing to see. He's quiet again. Then he says he wishes someone had told him that at 23. You almost say something back. You almost tell him nobody ever really tells you. You just have to notice it yourself, standing in a parking lot outside a bar, watching somebody else's truck catch the light, and decide quietly that you're going to let your money be boring for a very long time. But you don't say that. You just tell him you love him, and you'll bring the paperwork by this weekend so he can see the place. 34. You're at another wedding. Somebody's little brother this time. A kid you used to babysit, all grown up in a rented tux. The open bar is nicer than the one at Danny's wedding. The DJ is better. Everyone looks a little older, a little heavier, a little more tired around the eyes. Kevin's there. No Rolex this time. He mentions, quieter than before, that he sold it last year. Needed the cash for something. He doesn't say what. You remember the 11 minutes at the bar all those years ago, and you don't bring it up. You think about the account instead. The one that's not small anymore, not invisible anymore, not something you have to explain or defend or hide from a father who worries you're missing out on life. It just sits there, doing what it's always done, the same quiet machine, still running, still boring, still the only thing in your whole life, from age 23, that never once let you down. Someone asks how you're doing these days, really doing. You look around the room, all these faces you grew up with, all these lives that turned out different than anyone expected. Some louder, some quieter, some richer in ways nobody can measure on a napkin. You smile. You say you're doing fine. Working hard. Same answer you gave your dad 11 years ago. Standing in a room that didn't know yet what you were building. Nobody in that room now knows either. That's fine too. Some things you don't explain. You just let them compound.